Welcome back to another Realty Tuesday. Today we are going to be covering what you need to know about buying down your interest rate. It's time for Realty Tuesday with Cheryl and Melanie, keeping you informed on all things real estate. Buying down your mortgage interest rate is always an option, but there are some things that you should consider. First, there are two types of buy downs. One is a permanent buy down, and one is a temporary buy down. Melanie, can you please tell us more about both of these options?
Hi, Cheryl. To understand a permanent buy down, we first need to understand how discount points work. One discount point is equal to 1% of the loan amount. In other words, if your loan amount is $300,000, 1% is $3,000. You can pay for points in increments, meaning you could pay a quarter of a point or half a point if that made the most sense for your scenario. It doesn't have to be a full point. There's not a one-to-one correlation between how much discount points you pay and how much it lowers the interest rate, but generally speaking, it will lower the interest rate by about a quarter to a half a percent for every 1% you pay in discount. The nice thing about a permanent buy down is it lowers the rate for the life of your loan because you have paid a fee up front to lower or discount your interest rate. A temporary buy down means a portion of the interest is paid upfront, typically by the seller, which basically subsidizes the payment for the first 1, 2, or 3 years of the loan. The interest rate is not actually changing, but if you do a temporary buy down for, say, 2 years, which is called a 2-1 buy down, then in the first year of your mortgage payments, the payment would be as if the interest rate were 2% lower than it actually is. In the second year, it would be as if the interest rate was 1% lower than it actually is. And in the third year, it'll be based on the actual interest rate. Doing a 2-1 buy down or a temporary buy down does not help you qualify for more because you have to qualify on what the actual payment will be. A permanent buy down could help you qualify for more because you're being qualified on the lower interest rate, which can't change and is for the life of the loan.
It's great to know that there are different options. Another thing to consider if you are thinking about buying down your rate is to analyze the break-even point for you. Melanie, can you please walk us through how you help a buyer determine this?
In determining the break-even point, we look at the cost to buy down the rate and also how much it will save you in your monthly payment, as well as how long you expect to remain in the home. If the break-even point is 5 years and you only expect to be in the home for 3 years, then paying discount points to lower the rate may not make sense for your situation.
It's also really important to know that you are not the only person in the transaction who can contribute to buying down your interest rate. If you're in a position to negotiate seller concessions, where the seller is going to be giving you some type of financial credit, you can apply that towards buying down your rate instead of, say, a price reduction. Melanie, can you please tell us a little bit more about this option?
Yes, if you're getting some type of financial credit from the seller, it could definitely make sense to look at using that money to buy down the interest rate versus lowering the purchase price on the home. If you're getting a credit of, say, $10,000 from the seller, and if you use that to buy the interest rate down by 0.5%, that would make a difference of about $160 a month in your monthly payment. Versus if you reduce the price by $10,000, it would only change your monthly payment by about $60.
Thanks, Melanie. I think another important thing viewers might want to know is when is the best time for a buyer to communicate that they would like to consider buying down their rate?
If you think you want to buy down the interest rate, it's a good idea to start that conversation with your lender early in the process. But keep in mind that between the time you're pre-approved and the time you're under contract and ready to lock in the interest rate, the rates and the cost to buy them down could change. Everything is an estimate until you're under contract. But once it's time for you to lock in your rate, your lender can show you all the options and help you decide whether buying down the interest rate makes sense for you.
I think it's safe to say there's a lot of strategic planning that goes into place. And this is why it is so important that you are partnering with an experienced team of professionals when getting ready to purchase a home. Thank you all for joining us today. Be sure to stay tuned as we are unraveling mortgage rates all through January. Next week, we will discuss the fees that come into play for your rate and why sometimes the lowest rate isn't always the best option. If you have any questions or you want us to cover a specific topic, drop them in the comments. Have a great day, guys.